It's Kirkwood and Dunn, and it's one of the best weekends of the year, and we're here to get you kicked off by giving the rankings of the most likely upsets to happen in the NCAA tournament, followed by our Final Four and national championship picks. And finally, we talk about the media bracket. It's been taking the world by storm, and we have to change the rules a little bit, so we hope that you enjoy that. We wrap up the show with a little Indiana football talk. Follow us on all platforms at Kirkwood and Dunn. Subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube and Spotify, please click that subscribe button, that like button of this episode. It helps us out and it doesn't cost you anything. And then TikTok, X, and Instagram are where we put out a ton of content. So be sure to check that out. Let's go.
Powered by Riverside.
Tim, welcome to the greatest 4 days of a year from most fans. Like, you love college basketball. I'm kind of indifferent now. I'm such a like,
you're a loser. That's what you are. Is you're a loser
I was
for
just
not
about
liking
to say,
college
I kind of
basketball.
am a loser. Did you see that? Like, there was like a tweet going viral about like, none of my friends in my group chat are talking about basketball, college basketball anymore. It's really lost its luster. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm that guy. I filled out a bracket for the show. I didn't even put a group together. I usually put a group together. I am that guy. I've become Indiana football sucked all my fandom out of me. And it's just been like sole focus. And then and the Chiefs stinking really helped that. And then it's like, all I'm looking forward to now is Royals baseball. And I just completely skipped college basketball. But I'm going to get hyped. Let's get hyped.
Yeah.
I'm hyped.
We don't need to talk about who's hiring the strength and conditioning coach, what our official visits are booked or anything. Like, no, we don't need to go into that. We have legitimate playoff college sports to talk about. It's just basketball, not football.
Easy. We still will talk some Indiana football news at the end. But right before we have our second version of our special segment called Tim's Takes, those that remember that. But
people were clamoring for it to come back.
They were.
So I had to come
clamoring. And I have a special intro to that. So we'll get to that. So stick around. But Tim, I want to talk about college basketball and give a ranking, because Wednesdays are our ranking days. Before we go, because I know a lot of you start listening to our podcast. This is coming out Thursday morning. We're recording Wednesday night, just in case the tournament gets shut down. You see, there's a COVID case. It's like,
Oh, really?
There's a COVID case. Shut down the tournament. Give me flashbacks from 6 years ago. But we want to do our rankings, and our ranking this week is college basketball related. It's the most likely upset. So basically, Tim and I are going to do a joint ranking. We haven't talked about it. We're going to rank what we think is number 10 all the way up. Tim is going to be so frustrated in this ranking because I don't know hardly anything. And so I'm going to probably put one that he's like, you're an idiot. So I'm excited to get yelled at. And then we're going to share our Final Four and champion picks. And then you can take a break, because if you're listening to this Thursday morning, you're getting this all in, or Friday morning or whatever. So, Tim, let's dive in right away.
Yeah.
I think it's your turn first to pick. And you're going to go at number 10 how should I say this?
So number one would be like the upset pick that we are like, absolutely, we would be betting them to win it outright, the whole thing.
Money line.
10, not making the top 10 here would be like the 16 seeds beating a 1. Sorry, don't think it's really going to happen. Maybe.
Is Purdue a 1 this year? I haven't looked.
Purdue's a 2.
I'm just kidding. I did pick my bracket. Hey, real quick, can we pick 9s?
I think, it's technically an upset. I know.
Yeah,
because I don't want to try to. We're going to go by upset by seed, because there are probably some 9s that are favored against 8s, but like we'll just go upset in terms of seeding here.
Okay. So if you all are in a bracket pool and you're listening to this on Thursday morning, take into consideration this top 10, but really this is a gambler's 10. Like, go at least take the covers on this. Bet responsibly. All right.
Yes,
Tim,
for entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only.
I'm going to be entertained for 75 hours the next 4 days, so I'm
It's
lots
true.
of
It is.
entertaining.
I will get hyped. I will get hyped when it comes
It's the
on. When
best
I
time
hear
of year.
that's
Like, even
it is. It's
even
great.
even losers like you who don't like it will be sitting around at 3 o'clock being like, "Man,
You're
look at these
right.
4 games. I can't where the heck is,
You're right.
Queens College? What do you
Yep.
mean Queens College isn't in New York?" That's what everybody's gonna be tweeting
He's right.
tomorrow.
He's right. And college football does not really have this type of juice, except every Saturday.
No, it doesn't have this type of juice
Oh, it's
because
so
Mercer
great.
never beats LSU when they play in November. So,
Have
like,
you heard about a little school called Appalachian State beating Michigan?
yeah, yes, one time, '07, we all remember.
Or Akron taking mighty Indiana to 4 overtimes? Indiana won a national
That's
title 2
oh
years after that.
god. Or Old Dominion going up 7-0 on the 16-0 future national champion Hoosiers, and you and me freaking the fuck out? Yeah.
Electric factory. All right, number 10.
Number 10, I'm gonna sneaky upset that I kind of like a lot. I'm gonna go to the South region. And really, one of my favorite matchups in terms of seeding is 11 and 6. I love VCU over North Carolina. Number 10 on our board here. VCU, the 11 seed, North Carolina, the 6 seed. North Carolina is a fine team. They were certainly much better when they had their top 5 NBA draft pick, Caleb Wilson, playing. He's
Yeah.
not, he's hurt, broke his hand. It's going to be tough. I think they've kind of coasted, whatever. They've still got like some talented players on the team. If you recall, last week we got into a distinct argument about whether or not Hubert Davis is a good coach.
He's
And this
not.
is where you can be like, Trent was right. Hubert Davis sucks as VCU pulls off the upset over North Carolina. That's what I'll have as my top 10 starting us on our potential upsets for March Madness.
Tell me if you actually picked it in your bracket or not.
I did. Yep. I've got my bracket
Okay.
pulled up for folks on the screen.
Okay.
I'm going to be kind of looking down, referencing it. I am we should have clarified this. I'm a one bracket of
Same.
Destiny and Truth.
One bracket.
I don't know how people go out there filling out 35 different types. Like, no thanks.
I will say, because I picked a pretty chalky tournament, I'm going to just be honest. To get to 10, I'm going to have to pick ones that I didn't pick in my bracket. Because we said this is a gambling, like, think covers, think money lines. And if I lose it in my bracket,
I
at least
also
I
have a
won
very
money.
chalky bracket, but
Yeah.
we're just trying to pick first round games. To some degree, there's only so many underdogs, and we're not picking 16 seeds, so we have limited choices here. But I do like VCU over UNC, and I have picked that.
All right, I'm gonna go pretty easy because we said 9s are in play. I'm gonna click this little preview button to see who's favored. You got to think that ESPN's gonna tell me that, right? Okay, good. It is also an underdog in terms of betting. St. Louis over Georgia.
Love it. Love
Mike
that pick.
White is a terrible basketball coach. Todd Golden comes in to Florida 2 years, has them up and running like national contenders, win a national title in his 3rd year, 4th year. Like, Mike White goes to Georgia. I don't know how they got into the tournament this year. The SEC is so bad.
Yeah.
That nepotism taking over Auburn, Alabama allows Georgia to sneak into the tournament. St. Louis, Grace Ibarra, Crimson Cast host, shout out to her. Slew, as some might like to say. I think that they are a good team. And didn't they get upset in Arch Madness? I think they lost.
Yeah, I do think they lost.
And if they did lose, they're going to be pissed off. I love teams that are pissed off.
And they are coached by Josh Hurts, who used to be the Indiana State head coach, and have the best player in college basketball with the goggles. I can't even think of his name, but his nicknames are like Cream Curry. Like, it is the best. He's just a missile from deep. I love it.
Future Indiana Hoosier head coach?
Maybe. Well, listen, at this point, we're not going to run it back, but I'll take anybody.
All right, 8.
My next upset pick, I'm going to go, again, 11 over 6. I love these. Texas over BYU. We actually do see pretty often teams that are in the first four in Dayton are able to make a little run sometimes. Texas played last night, ended up being a pretty close game with uh NC State. NC State is who they played. Sorry, couldn't remember that. And BYU, while they have a great player in AJ Devanza, that's actually kind of all they have. They've really sort of scuttled it throughout the Big 12 end of the season here. So Texas gets a little momentum from playing on Tuesday. They think they come back and upset BYU the 6th seed.
Pretty awesome for Texas to win what I call the Mike Woodson Invitational and getting out of there, out of Dayton. The play-in game, what we were always striving for. By the way, our fans did correct us. 2023, I think we were a 4 seed, so we were very clearly in the tournament. We said that we hadn't been like in the tournament for a decade. Blacked out that year, and then yeah, you know how I joked that our listenership would fall off right when we said 2003 and 2001 was the last time Indiana made the Final Four? You bet.
Listen, all right, haters, go listen to a real podcast then they're good. That's going to prep and look up all the stats and have the years down exactly for you. Okay. We were talking about it and I remembered I was like a freaking sophomore in high school. Sorry if I've been a little busy since then. Didn't get it tattooed on my forearm. Like we were roughly right. Get over it.
All right. Next one. I love 7-10 upsets. I'm going to go with Texas A&M over St. Mary's.
Have it on my board. Have it in my bracket.
I just like,
give me Power 5 school. Just give me the Power 2.
Power 5 schools over these. I mean, I'm going to be honest. SEC athletes versus West Coast white kids.
Yeah.
I'll take the SEC athletes. The reality is, Tim, is the only thing that I'm worried about is my last two picks you've kind of agreed with that I'm like, am I taking them too low?
Yeah.
If we're saying most likely to happen, you're like, yeah that's a great pick.
Like, oh, God, we might have really effed this up because some of these, I love Texas over BYU and have that at 8. It probably to me, it's actually probably the best upset. That would
so if you're listening to this and you are going to fade us or go with us, just know that we actually believe 10 through 5 is probably more likely to be upset.
I kind of was like trying to navigate both the believing that it's going to happen versus it being like a bigger upset in and of itself.
Yeah.
That like VCU beating North Carolina will be a big upset if it happens, but I also happen to believe that it will. Well, it's like some of these, I kind of believe less so, or would be less of. So like I'll go for number 6 here. I'll take Iowa over Clemson, but that's a 9-8. Iowa's the 9 seed, Clemson's an 8 seed. This is going to be an ugly, ugly game. I don't want to encourage anybody to watch it, but both teams play very, very slow. So anything could happen here, but I think Iowa will have the experience of a Big Ten schedule behind them. Much, much better basketball conference than the ACC, has been now for years. Give me Iowa over Clemson.
So I'm going to give my first juicy one, just so it's not the first pick, even though if it happens, we would look really smart. Like, I think my goal is actually to release a graphic that shows all the Thursday upsets that we picked, like with blanked out on the Friday ones and then Friday. We'll see. That's going to take a lot of work. And I'm in the middle of a bracket that I'm creating and fostering. So we'll see how that works. But I hate this program, even though I know this coach is no longer there. I think it not only set basketball back, but it specifically set the Indiana Hoosiers back multiple years because we went and got a coach that coached in this style of ball. And this team is no stranger to losing early in the tournament. Wright State over Virginia.
Whoa!
14 over 3. The pack line defense. I don't even know if they play. Do they still play pack line?
They don't. They don't. Not anymore.
Is it Buzz Peterson that's there? Who's there?
No, Mike Young. I know who you're thinking of.
Not Buzz Peterson. The guy that Texas A&M coach is now.
He went to Virginia Tech. He went to Virginia Tech, not Virginia.
No, he went from Virginia Tech to Texas A&M to Maryland. He's at Maryland now.
Oh, Mike Young is Virginia Tech. Hold on. Live
Holding.
broadcast, podcast.
Electric podcasting.
Ryan Odom is the Virginia. Yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of.
Look at Maryland's coach. It's who I was thinking of.
It's I can't. Buzz Williams. There we go.
Buzz Williams, not Buzz Peterson. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. He
Anyways,
sucks.
Yeah. So should as Indiana fans, should we root for Virginia? Because they're the program that people that look up things look to is like, hey, if it went really bad in your first season, guess what? You can fix it in the second one.
I kind of don't. I don't care. I
know. I know you don't
like,
actually want to root for Virginia for that reason, but
no.
I'm trying to make the point that that's
you
who
are right.
people are holding up.
Virginia and Miami are the two that people are like, look, you can get a brand new head coach, turn over an entire roster basically, and be okay and like make the tournament and be a top 40 team in college basketball. It's not impossible. Stop making an excuse for DeVries.
This is Jay Lucas's first season at Miami. Ryan Odom's been there 2 years.
No, I don't think so.
Guys, this is great. When was Ryan Odom hired at Virginia? It's his second year.
2025. It says 2025 to present. Hold on. That's this year. That's this season. He was at VCU until 23 to 25. So,
Tim's right. Okay, so Virginia's a bad example as well.
but no, it's the right example of that you can still win in college basketball in your first year.
No, okay.
Were you trying to make a different point? What point are you trying to make?
No, I'm trying to make the point that people have made the point of, which is Virginia, they flipped their roster, they did it, and they were really bad, which is true. And Miami is an example of that too.
Yeah.
Michigan last year was an example of that. Yeah. But the problem, I do not want to go back down to Darren DeVries road. But the problem is, and I know you agree with this isn't his first year. Like these guys are new flip the roster in their first season, and show me the team that was really bad in the coach's first season, and then in the second season flip the roster again.
Oh, you're already talking about what is the expectations for Darren DeVries next year.
Yeah. And people have held up people have said, look at Virginia, they flipped the well. I thought it was his second season, so I was like, oh, that's what everyone's been saying. Shoot, I mean, Michigan is an example of this too. Like, I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you agree.
Okay,
I know you agree.
This is why I'm out on Darren DeVries, because he couldn't flip the roster and be fucking mediocre and make the NCAA tournament when they give it 68 bids.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Now we're live. That was the juice people wanted in this draft.
What minute are we at? We're at 17. This is what everyone's gonna jump off.
Talking over each other.
I was like, no, Tim, I know you understand this, but it's my fault. My premise at the beginning was wrong because it was not Ryan Odom's second season.
Yeah.
Okay, go back at your rank. It's your turn on the ranking.
See, this is where I have a very chalky bracket. The other one I will go to right now that I like a lot. Again, 6-11. I'm going to the East region, South Florida over Louisville. Louisville, pretty good team. Also changed over its roster, etc. But there's leaving a little bit to be desired of late. I watched them go against North Carolina probably 4, 5, 6 weeks ago after Caleb Wilson was out, and they got the doors beat off of them by an undermanned North Carolina team. So I don't believe in Louisville very much. I love South Florida over Louisville.
All right. Well, let's stay in the Commonwealth as at number 3. I'm going to take Santa Clara over Kentucky. I think this is actually a really popular pick, if I've read it right. So for those who have listened to the podcast for a while, if you listen for the first time, I grew up a Kentucky fan. This would absolutely have crushed me years ago, Kentucky losing here. And now maybe there's a correlation between why I'm not interested in college basketball anymore, because I'm not that big of a Kentucky fan anymore. So this, though, Kentucky stinks. Like, I still have, like, my brother is a huge Kentucky fan, so he still talks about it. He is a Mark Pope stan. It's now become a bit because they're so bad, and they spent everyone's been criticizing Indiana's spending versus loss. No one knows NIL money. Indiana's money was buyouts and new
Yeah.
contracts and spending. And guess what? I love the missing narrative about that even Bert over at Illinois is going, is this real? Is that Indiana still made a $10 million profit in their athletic department. That those numbers are the same numbers, and
Yeah.
they still made it to that. Just tells you how much football makes. But Kentucky stinks. Mark Pope is done. And they haven't even hired a general manager.
I did pick Kentucky to beat Santa Clara in my bracket.
Wow.
So I can change
You
it.
wanna come to my pool so I can win?
Yeah, to me, this was a little bit about athletes, but also I hear that they have been bad. What happened to Otega Owe? Like, he was like balls to the wall 2 years ago, and then all of a sudden he kind of just stinks and is pretty mid.
Mark Pope development program.
Yikes.
He leaves BYU, and all of a sudden they start spending money and they get really good.
Yeah.
I also have not watched 1 minute because I think the Indiana and Kentucky game was at the same time as the Heisman ceremony. It was around that time.
Yes, it was.
So
it was
I
at the
didn't
same
even
time.
I didn't
Yes.
even watch
Yeah.
that game. I just watched.
I
the
didn't.
Heisman
I didn't either.
ceremony.
I was they and Tucker DeVries was out. Like, they had some injuries, and so then they were like, it was bad. Oh, this fucking Indiana season so terrible. All right, number 2, my last pick. This is the upset that I like the most. Again, upset from a seeding, probably not too much from a gambling perspective. It's the 9 seed Utah State Aggies over 8 seed Villanova in the West region. Villanova is not very exciting at all, particularly offensively. Utah State is pretty solid. They are like Utah State is a solid 7 points better on the season offensively than Villanova. Like, yikes. The competition level not all that different really in my mind for Utah State versus Villanova. So I love what Utah State has done. I think they can absolutely take down the Wildcats out of Villanova. My number 2 most confident upset.
Sometimes in college sports, it goes so perfectly that a team like Villanova has a generational coach. I mean, obviously they've had good coaches before in the 80s, but they just are not the same. Like, it's like the
No.
perfect script. The guy following the guy, not good.
Always
And
bad. Always bad.
Always bad. It's like Kalen DeBoer when he went to Alabama in football. It's like the man just went to get the buyout.
Yeah.
He's got
Well, I
generational
mean,
money. He's never going to win there.
Nope. Not anywhere close to the level. I mean, nobody's
they
really
want.
ever going to win to the level that Saban won.
Except Signetti.
Yeah, but like, it's tough. So respect to them, but Utah State's winning this against Villanova.
All right. So number 1, what is March about? Just madness, right? The
Buzzer
magic,
beaters.
the buzzer beaters. You talk about you're taking Utah State. There's a lot of rumors that their coach is going to go to Cincinnati. You took South Florida over Louisville. He turned down Syracuse this week. Like, there's so much stories about coaching rosters leaving and, like, what does that do to the morale of the team? What about a whole university no longer existing? What about a school that is getting taken over by another school and maybe won't even have a basketball team next year? And they get drawn with arguably the biggest duds that March has ever known in the Purdue Boilermakers. Give me Queens University over the Purdue Boilermakers 2-15, and we get another 5 years of an amazing clip.
I cannot wait. Surprisingly, Purdue has played better defense of late, but there was a time period there in February where they were so awful. I was like, I cannot wait for Purdue to get upset. I don't know if this is going to happen, but I do not have Purdue going far in my bracket. Give me Arizona out of that region. I don't think Purdue has a chance. I'm ready for the boiler fail whenever it happens. And even if it doesn't, this is the best thing where I said it like the day after IU football won the national title. IU football won a national title before Purdue basketball. Guaranteed, absolute calendar fact, no matter what. So good luck, Boilers. Have fun if you want. Can't wait to see you fail.
I just like it's set up. It's always just set up so perfectly. It's like they had a heck of a run the Big Ten tournament. They won. Everyone's like they're back. I think there was a quote that's like this is John Rothstein said this is Purdue's best chance to ever win a national championship. And then if they lose the first round, I
It'd be
know you
great.
said you asked if we should switch this to be wouldn't it be the most hilarious upsets? And I still had to go with Queen's University over Purdue. So that's going to be on a graphic. Is that a Thursday game? Is that Thursday or Friday?
Friday. Friday at 7:30.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Get to release that.
Break out the booze, enjoy the game, recline back, and watch Purdue Boilermakers play some basketball. Can't wait. Good thing this game's not at Mackey. My God, you losers.
Yeah, that's honestly like having to be there. Whatever. I don't want to get into that stupid Hunter Dickinson comment this week. I don't know if you saw that, but let's go to our Final Four. We're not going to do the full picks. I feel like that's a 2025 Kirkwood and Dunn style where we would have read every single pick. Let's just go to our Final Fours.
Yep.
Move quickly.
I have a lot of chalk, ultimately. I do think there's been a growing gap in college basketball, accelerated by the transfer portal, where the transfer portal, I think, has helped even out college football. I think it's made a gap in college basketball. So I don't have tons of upsets overall. I do have 3 number 1 seeds making it to the Final Four. I've got Duke, Arizona, Michigan. I do have Illinois coming out of the South bracket over Florida as the 1 seed there. So those are my Final Four, 3 1 seeds and the 3 seed. Ultimately, I do have Duke winning the title.
Okay, I'm get ready for you to yell at me for this. So I have UConn coming out, even though I was not wanting to switch places with Dan Hurley because he's a douche. UConn, Illinois. And then I have Michigan because they basically fund this whole podcast by my wife's job. And then I have BYU. So your first round upset. Yep.
Oh, man.
March is all about players, and BYU is staring down the barrel of having Purdue and Arizona, classic teams that can't get out of regionals in their bracket. And so they were the ones I picked of like star player, take it over. It's there. Now I do have them losing to Michigan and Michigan winning it all against UConn and Dusty May winning a national championship.
I am trying to find the Final Four number for BYU. 40-1. 40
Take
to 1.
it, people.
Nice little ticket.
If you have the money, please gamble responsibly. No, I know nothing, which means I'm actually probably better at this.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. I did consult with a consigliere on their bracket and what they had. This consigliere did win their tournament pool at their place of employment with 30-some people in it. I've never won a pool. I've never probably even finished in the top 2. I think the best I've ever done in a year is finish 3rd. So maybe take all of these with a little bit of a grain of salt. But the consigliere had a similar Final Four as me. So we're okay.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, that's our college basketball talk. Hopefully you get that in before the first couple of rounds of the tournament or first round of the tournament, so you get those upset picks in and follow us because there's some Lock City. And I will remind you that 10-5 is probably more realistic than 1-5 for us. All right. Let's change gears real quick. Tim, we last week announced that we were doing a college football media bracket, and it has taken the world by storm. Shout out Brandon Marcello, the first one to tweet about it. Then Tom Fornelli got in on it. Brandon F. Walker got in on it. A lot of some retweets from people. Chip Patterson's liking our tweets. Laura Rutledge is liking tweets. And even though I just found out today that Laura Rutledge is getting replaced on SEC Now, which devastating. Devastated. I am
Well,
devastated.
I think it's more she's getting a promote. Like she runs NFL Live, so like she's
Yeah, and
getting.
I've heard, like, she
They're
wants to,
just
like,
taking it off of
cut
her
back a little.
like her plate. Yeah,
Yeah, she wants to cut back a little bit, but
Laura
I
Rutledge is
mean,
great. Love Laura Rutledge.
she's the best thing about the SEC. Um, but we're doing a college football media bracket. Go check that out on X. It's the only place to vote. When we originally were discussing the college football media bracket, it was going to be a popular vote that we were going to use as a data point for Tim and I to discuss all the round picks. I'm worried that it's now become so popular in some of these votes that if we like walk out and take Pete Thamel over Tom Fornelli, then we're just gonna be absolutely shunned by all of our new listeners. We've gained followers from this, Tim. I'm
I
wondering if we just the first round need to do a popular vote.
I listen. We don't need to talk about stealing elections right now. I think we let the people speak for themselves, and we
Okay.
accept the people's results at least for the time being. Then maybe when things get to the executive branch, we make our own decisions. So
Okay.
maybe a little, they get to vote like the House of Representatives. They're kind of narrowing this down for us. And then, we're going to maybe do what we want instead. I don't know.
Okay. So
I
here's
don't want to
here's my
immediately go against people, but also there feels like there's right answers to me. And I would not feel great if the people were just wrong.
it's true. And because we want to have the integrity that is the Kirkwood Dunn College Football
Right.
Media Bracket held
Uh-huh.
up.
The first one ever, right? We can't be looking back on this being like, what were we doing? And who won this first one? Like, it needs to be somebody legitimate.
Counterpoint. If someone's trying really hard to get votes and they get votes and they win, that's better engagement for us. And I want them to move on in the bracket.
It is.
I do feel bad for Brandon
we gotta
Marcello.
get,
Brandon Marcello is not going to listen to this, but he's retweeted twice and
man,
he's still
good
getting
luck.
beat by Big Cat.
Yeah. Sorry, you got a big uphill mountain to climb.
Okay, so here's my proposal. First round, popular vote. But on Sunday, we're going to reveal who won, and then we will pick the second rounds during the podcast on Sunday. And if we split, we'll call somebody and get that. Then I think we should do Sweet 16 Sunday to then next Wednesday's pod, and then do Elite 8 Wednesday to Sunday's pod. And if we get a good enough engagement by that, then we'll talk about how it kind of shakes out. We'll talk about it on how we'll do the Final Four
ultimately,
national
this is a little bit of a team effort between us and the
Yeah.
audience. The
Yeah.
audience does one leg, we do another one. We're balancing these things back and forth. As the co-host of the show, we do have more power than the audience. Sorry.
Sure. We can override the audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. The man in the arena. We're the ones that have to live with the final graphic. So we may override at some point. But I respect the audience and their opinion, so we'll take it into account.
My biggest thing is I want to get through the first two rounds this week because I have some plans. I have some like mashup clips together and like a versus clip. I need to get less people so I can like create some graphics, get some head-to-head things
Street
tweeted.
Fighter graphics, Mortal
Exactly.
Kombat graphics.
Ooh, I had not thought about that. That is great. Yes, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, at least the sound effects, like get that all together.
Yeah, the Mortal Kombat audio.
Oh yeah, get over here. Yeah.
Now listen. When we revisit the what should be the IU football theme song entrance in the stadium, the Mortal Kombat theme song goes hard. That goes hard AF. That's what I need. Get John Mellencamp out of here. I want the Mortal Kombat. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm in it now. Now I'm in it.
I've been thinking about how to create some graphic. I did it today with the cookie and brownie quotes, but I'm like, how do I take quotes from what you and I say, not make a clip, but make just a graphic? That might be the first one. Get John Mellencamp out of here. Give me Mortal Kombat as our intro song.
Scott Dolson, get on the line. Let's get some
Uh,
licensing. Let's get some residuals going.
Athletic Director of the Year, Scott Dolson.
Yeah. Shout out.
Okay, sorry. This reminded me. He wins Athletic Director of the Year.
Yeah.
Every sport is having a historically bad year. Every major sport's pretty much having a historically bad year. Volleyball, probably the closest that isn't.
Volleyball was good. Yeah.
Um, but he wins it. That just tells you about football. And then you want to know how bad the perception is of Darren DeVries. They put out best coaching pairings at universities.
Yeah.
We
I
have
saw
the
that.
best coach in college football. The best coach in college football. We don't even make the top 10.
Yeah, that graphic was messed up. They had Oregon up there when Dan Lanning ain't anywhere near as good as Kurt Signetti, and Dana Altman is bad. Oregon is
I'm just
bad.
saying. I'm
You
talking
think
about perception.
Darren DeVries is doing nothing with all money and resources? What the hell is Dana Altman doing at Oregon? Dude has fallen off a map. Anyway, yes, tough look. That segment was brought up on other podcasts too, like best combo football, men's basketball head coach. And yeah, it's hard for Indiana to sniff that because Darren DeVries is out there doing God knows what against Northwestern. So tough luck.
Other football news, Signetti driving the Indy 500 pace car. Did you say you're going this year?
We have plans to go. Yeah.
That's right.
It's
That's what I
a
thought.
whole ordeal to try to get in and everything
Yeah.
else. So there's lots of details to figure out, but I'm hopeful to go to the race this year, which will be fun.
Your consigliere on your bracket tends to
Yes.
get you into cool sporting events. So
It's great. It's the best. Couldn't recommend it even more to have a friend with a hookup.
so that's exciting. I guess all the content. Do you think that Signetti will follow the rules? I wonder if they actually drive. Like in the Little 500, they don't let them drive anymore.
No,
the pace car?
yeah,
Okay.
no, they actually usually have them in the passenger seat.
Okay. Why is
I
he
don't
not
know.
the grand
Actually,
marshal?
I don't know.
by the way?
Maybe I don't know. I'm not a huge Indy 500 guy, so there's probably a bunch of people out there right now that are going like, well, you don't know that the pace car is driven by this person and that there's actually 3 pace cars and that the grand marshal also waves a flag or also sings Back Home Again. I don't know, man. I think it's cool. I'm glad that he is. It's going to be a, huge, national sporting event news and like he runs the state. So I'm excited for it, but
I'm more disappointed that's not the biggest honor you can receive at the Indy 500. So, like, who the hell is going to be grand marshal?
well, but they've done grand marshal in the past. They've done it with like
Famous people
Fo-
like
well,
Justin
but, like,
Bieber.
like Tom Brady was a couple years ago because it was
Yeah.
Fox, and they were like, "We got to promote our new football color commentator when he's the most hated man in Indiana." Tom Brady is. So it's like I don't know. We'll see what it is, but it's cool that he's involved. It's cool that he's getting the recognition to be like on a main stage like that. There's nobody better. I'm so thankful Kurt Signetti is our head coach.
So thankful. Charlie Becker put out a thirst trap on Instagram. And so we're going to break it down like men, like football guys. Be like, look at those muscles that he's put on that can really help with football.
Way
We're
to
going to
go,
just let you
Charlie
know this
Becker.
is a football conversation, not
Yeah,
how hot Charlie Becker looks.
to the 12 female listeners, you might want to go check it out. Charlie Becker Instagram. Congrats to Charlie from Nashville. Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee has been doing sit-ups, let's say. Can confirm. So
Ripped.
good on Charlie.
We will be doing a draft that is the hot Indiana people draft. We'll do a men one. And we'll try to get some female listeners, female panelists. Yeah. I have no problem saying Charlie Becker. That's a hot picture. Okay, now maybe that's the quote card that I put out. Okay, Charlie Becker. Let's talk about Charlie Becker from a football standpoint real quick. Is there actually, from a national perspective, a lack of respect for him right now, which is crazy to me? I have not seen him
I
on,
don't.
like, a bunch of top lists as, like, top returning receiver. I think it should be Jeremiah Smith 1A and Charlie Becker 1B. I'm dead serious.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
I saw some like back when the season first ended. Like everybody puts out like their next
Yeah.
year top 25, whatever. I feel like I saw a few where he was like wide receiver 3 in the country, and then like Jeremiah Smith was number 1. So I felt like he got some respect. We'll see. I d- I don't know. I think he's very very good. I am more curious what Nick Marsh is going to look like at wide receiver too. Like Nick Marsh is just as, if not even more talented than Charlie Becker. And now that he doesn't have Aiden Childs and Jonathan Smith running around him and limiting him, maybe he really takes off too. So like there's a world where Charlie Becker is still very, very good, but actually isn't wide receiver 1 on Indiana next year. And it's Nick Marsh. Like I very much believe that's possible. I love Charlie. I think he could be also, but I think he's gonna get overshadowed because Indiana does have the best wide receiver room in the country between those two.
Who was number 1 last year?
Ohio State.
No, no, no,
With
no, no. Sorry. That I
yeah,
asked that question at the very wrong time.
sorry.
Who was Indiana's number 1 receiver last year?
Elijah Surratt. At this point last year,
Was
yeah,
he?
and then it'd be yes.
If
Oh,
you would
yes.
if you would have said Omar Cooper, I would have been like, "Was he?" Because I think the thing about Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper is gonna be the same thing that we saw with Charlie Becker and,
Nick
Nick Marsh, is they're complementary. Like, they're so complementary. Like, Nick Marsh will play underneath. Charlie Becker's gonna drag the defense with him wherever he goes. I that's where I'm like, I don't know who's our number 1 receiver because it probably just depends on what you value in a number 1 receiver.
yeah, there and I think it's very possible that Charlie Becker is the best wide receiver next year. But I would have felt on March 18th, 2025, Elijah
100%.
Surratt was the number 1 receiver
Yep.
and excited about what Omar Cooper could do and LeBron Bond or EJ Williams, like all of those things. But I think as we saw the season sort of shake out, ultimately Omar Cooper was our best wide receiver. And credit to Omar Cooper. Like that's Omar Cooper getting better not only in the offseason, but every week, et
Yep.
cetera. And Elijah Surratt still having a very good year and had a very good role on the team. So I am very interested how it shakes out next year with Nick Marsh and Charlie
And
Becker.
Surratt, like, it's kind of unfair because he got hurt, right? Like,
Mhm.
and Omar Cooper really stepped up and Charlie Becker really stepped up because you could argue easily that Charlie Becker was our best receiver at the end of the year, on that team. Like, you could argue it. I'm not saying he was, but in
He had big
terms of
plays.
clutch plays, yeah, in terms of clutch plays, Charlie Becker was right up there,
Legit.
which is why Indiana is national champion because they had 3 ridiculous wide receivers and they have potential to have that next year. Nick Marsh, Charlie Becker, and then you got Shaz Preston, and you got a guy that's been slept on, and Tyler Morris. Like everyone forgets that he's coming. Like he was supposed to play last year. He's really freaking good. So I'm really excited for our receiver room. And spring ball is right around the corner. And Tim says we're not allowed to talk about strength coaches. So let's move on.
Not during the week of March Madness. We have
All right.
time in
So
April to get to the damn strength coach in the spring game.
so Tim, if you all remember, had a take. He wanted to start a new segment. We need to
New segment
get
alert.
better at segments.
We
So
do.
just so you know, that's what our consultants who have come in and consulted on our podcast to say. We got to get better at segments. So Tim proposed in Tim-like fashion. Tim goes, "Hey, we should start a segment. So let's do a segment that has my name in it and it's my opinion on something, which is classic Tim Burn." So I went and we did it once. It
It is, yeah.
it
It's a
it
listen,
well,
it's a
it's a work in progress. So to spice it up, when Tim asked for it to come back this week, to spice it up, I asked our media team to come up with a little bit of a jingle for Tim's. And the only thing I'll say, well, I'll let you listen to it, and then I'll add my comments after. Tim, it's 30 seconds, so we have to listen to all of it.
oh my god.
Ready? Yep.
Ready for some fire? got the takes that make you
This
think.
is terrible.
Pushing ideas to the brink. He's got the takes that make you think. Pushing ideas to the brink.
This is terrible. This is. Yeah,
And we say-
this segment is gonna. You killed this segment right then and there.
We will say, will AI take over the world? And then it's got a long ways to go. That's
God,
what it's producing
that
for
was
us.
so bad. Listen, I'm trying to get a little. We got to come up with some content in the off season. We don't have games to talk about. We don't have all the other
What?
things like to go off of. So I'm just like, hey, let's.
You're pushing takes to the brink, according to that song. All right, Tim's
man.
takes. Let's go.
I don't even know. Yeah, listen, this was
You
really
want to
modeled.
play it again? You want to play it
No,
again?
no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
no. This is really modeled after a podcast that I liked. That
Yeah.
maybe this should be clue number one about this being a bad segment because they stopped doing it, and it doesn't work anymore. But it was a podcast from The Ringer called "The Hottest Take," and it was. I thought it was really smart. It was based off of it was in podcast form, but it was meant to only be like 10 to 15 minutes, effectively one segment. Somebody comes in and goes, I've got a hot take. It could be about anything in the world, whatever else. And then like three people kind of listen to it and be like, I agree, I don't agree, whatever. And then you're out, right? Just 15 minutes of like a random thing. So this is my random take of the week. I had the other morning a delicious breakfast egg, like bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich. This bacon I had was so good. I was like almost weeping. So this is not the segment for the vegans out there. Sorry, I should have put a warning up. I love bacon so much. I was sitting there eating this bacon, egg, and cheese going like, it's kind of insane that it's 2026 and pigs have been around a long time and have been eaten by people for a long time. How did we ever push things like great blue whales or rhinos into near extinction for hunting them? How did pigs survive? Pigs are delicious. They should have been wiped off the planet. Could you imagine being like a rural farmer or whatever else and being like, it's 1200 AD. Let's kill this pig and try and eat that, see what it's like. And then you have like some bacon. How do you not eat every pig you can find in sight? I'm like flabbergasted that somehow other animals went extinct or got near extinction. But pigs and bacon, which is so delicious, survived? Wild. That's my take.
Ready for some fiery news?
Oh, God. Our viewership, the subscriber count is just dropping right there.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you want
yeah.
me? So how did in your hot take land? How did people respond? Was
They're
there
just like,
discussion?
Yes, a little bit, like how
Was there
yes, that was
disagreement?
good. Yes, there could be disagreement. You could be like,
Okay.
whatever, like it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. I don't know. It's just, a little bit of amusing I had the other day because I had the best bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich in the world. And
Now
was
I
like,
know that Tim texted me with his
I-
hands full of grease as he's texting me. I need to do a hot take.
I was like, oh my, how have pigs survived? I would have eaten every single one of them.
So Tim, okay, let me unpack this real quick. Is the take, why are pigs not extinct? They should be extinct because bacon is the most delicious. Or is the
Yeah.
take, bacon is the most delicious and everyone else needs to get out of the paint?
No, that's not a hot take that bacon is like the most delicious thing. Like there's plenty of people I think that would support me in that. But
Oh, I think, yeah.
It's-
If you had said like breakfast
me-
sausage is more life
Right.
speed than
It's
bacon,
just
then we'd
more,
be
it's not even
arguing.
like a hot take, just as much as like I'm flabbergasted that pigs have survived for thousands of years
Yeah.
when they are clearly so delicious. How have we not, how did they not get completely eradicated by people being like, hey, check this out? I don't know. I don't
So
know. I just have, this is a question for all of the biologists, zoologists, whatever science is like animal science that I can't think of right now. Like I want them to chime in and be like, here's how they ended up surviving or why they, like were they owned only by rich people for a long time back in like 1200s? I don't know. But it is striking to me that somehow like rhinos or elephants almost went extinct for their tusks and the ivory. Meanwhile, if Tim was around in 1200, I'd be like, screw the ivory. Have you had bacon? This is the best.
okay, so there's actually real answers here.
I'm
And so
sure
I'm trying
there
to
is. I'm sure
I'm
there is.
trying
I
to
just
get a
didn't even
feel. I
bother.
know a little bit about it.
Okay.
Do we want a science lesson? Is this
Sure, yeah. Give
Tim's
me a
take
science
song
lesson.
is really sounds like a kids segment, so we could like do the kids segment here. Uh Part of it is honestly the influence of Judaism. Pork was not it was an
Duh.
unclean
Duh.
animal.
Yeah, that's my duh, Tim. Duh, Tim. That's the obvious answer. Man, why didn't I think of that?
And partly it's not like yes, it was religious observance, but it also I believe pigs are pretty nasty animals.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
my guess is that like disease and all that stuff maybe was worse in pork than beef or chicken back in the day that they just didn't know as much about it.
Okay, very logical statement. Listen, I did not.
I
I did.
didn't know. I
I
didn't know if
didn't.
that was this segment.
You were
Am I
good. You were
allowed to
good. No,
respond
you
with
were.
like a discussion?
This was good. This was good. I'm glad you did. I'm just trying to save my own face because that's a very smart and obvious answer that I didn't bother thinking about. I was just like, man, this is like my favorite. This is what you should clip. Is my favorite like all time internet video is King Curtis from the Wife Swap show. Where he goes, "Bacon is good for me,"
I'm
and
pretty
that's
sure.
all I could think about.
I'm pretty sure your last take was about an internet video that did not go very well.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the segment doesn't survive. The segment doesn't survive. But
No, you got to realize like first segment you try it, it's bad. Second segment, it's bad again. Third segment, it's kind of funny.
I
And
gotta
then
be
the
better
fourth-
next time.
and then we're gonna get to a point where like fans are like, we need Tim's takes because they're so bad that we have to listen to them.
I cannot believe what this idiot is gonna say next. Man, like y'all think I have bad takes about football or basketball or college athletics and whatever. Wait till you hear me opine on things like meat and internet videos.
Oh man. I can't wait to put this out on. I didn't clip the last one. I think I gotta clip this one. We gotta do some market research on the clips.
I think what really needs to happen is it's good that I don't tell you these takes, so you just get it live on the show. I probably should run them by my consigliere and just go, hey, like what do we think here? Let's workshop
Would you
this a
find
little
this
bit.
interesting, or would you be asleep by this point of the podcast? Like that's what you gotta ask.
Would you, if you were listening to this in your car, would you be careening off the side of the road?
You know what's
because of everything I
so
said?
funny? What's so funny, and this is behind little behind the curtain of the Kirkwood and Dunn podcast and Tim and I's friendship, is you have such hot takes and stubbornly take positions that are just outrageous in every area's walks in life. And your two takes you brought into this segment are the most benign, like not like they're not anything.
Yeah, I know.
Like it was. This is the greatest clip of this. Started the clip generation. Was this
Yep.
clip from the middle 2000s, and then the third, like your grandma, if had wheels, would be a bike.
Yes.
Is a bigger take in like a stance than Tim's take segments have been.
Well, listen, we got to warm up the crowd. Got to warm up the audience before they're not ready for the real hot stuff. That's folks. That's just me on a Monday morning at like 9:30. That's just
That
that's just
breakfast
getting
sandwich
started.
changed his life.
It really did. It was amazing. Oh, it was so good.
All right. If you like Tim's takes, please comment in the comments on YouTube or Spotify. Let us know if we need to keep that segment around. Hopefully you're enjoying basketball this weekend. I know it's kind of disappointing if you're an Indiana fan first, not seeing your team, but it is a great time, and I know I will get excited about it later today when basketball kicks off. For Tim, follow him on Twitter at TB Hoosiers. Follow me on Twitter at ST McGee. And all of our show channels are at Kirkwood and Dunn. Please like and subscribe. Tim, my last thing for this podcast, we hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. That's
Woo!
actually a really cool milestone for us. We're very close to being able to become a YouTube partner, which allows us to have some cool features. Not advertising or anything, but like some cool features for our listeners and stuff, which I think is really cool. And the fact that we only started doing YouTube in like middle of November, uh, thank God for Kurt Signetti, and thank God for you guys that you found us and are sticking around. So we really do appreciate it. We're very close to 2,000 followers on X, and I get to quote tweet the Ohio State fan making fun of us on November 28th of our 434 followers. I get to quote tweet that. So it's going to be my favorite thing every time we hit another 1,000. For Tim, I'm Trent. We'll see you next time, and go tell your friends about Tim's takes.
Are you